Welcome back to Boise Entrepreneur Week. My name's Nick Miller. I'm the Executive Director at the Venture College at Boise State, and I'm here with Dr. Nancy Glenn, the Vice President for Research and Economic Development at Boise State. Nancy, welcome to Boise Entrepreneur Week.
Thanks for having me, Nick. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We have a lot going on today. A lot of different pitch competitions, a lot of big checks being handed out, but we wanted to take this opportunity to talk with you about what is happening around research and economic development specific to Boise State. So can you tell us just a little bit about your role in the division that you lead, the Division of Research and Economic Development, and what that looks like at a university?
Sure, I'd be happy to. First thing that I want to say is that lots of things are happening at Boise State, and it's so exciting. Our research community is growing, people are excited, we're working across campus, and we're looking outside of campus for opportunities to partner. So the division that I'm in, which is the Division of Research and Economic Development, really facilitates research all the way from idea to impact. So everything from someone having an idea, and it doesn't have to be a researcher at Boise State, it could be somebody outside of our campus, comes to Boise State and says, hey, I've got this idea, where can we go with it? And so it may be that we need to bring other expertise together to talk about the idea and help facilitate that idea. Or maybe that idea is so mature, we're really in the step of looking for opportunities for funding, and so we help facilitate that. So really what we do within the division is facilitate really the whole research ecosystem from idea all the way to impact. And once an idea is funded, then we also help facilitate the IP and the licensing, if there is some, as part of a research project. Or perhaps it is simply project management and follow-up and outreach associated with the project. And of course, students are involved in this process all along the way.
Right.
The other thing that we do is really help drive the economic development outward from campus. And so looking for opportunities for partners across the community, how our students and how our researchers can partner with community organizations, with industry, NGOs, state, federal agencies, other universities in the state, outside of the state, to really help drive our economic development. And then lastly, I would say in terms of, we really manage the intellectual property of the university. So we help with all of the processes and policies around IP and licensing.
Well, it sounds like a pretty small job you have there.
I'm still learning.
That's a lot. And
we have awesome people that facilitate all these different offices. So we have an Office of Tech Transfer, Office of Research Development, Office of Sponsor Programs, a Research Compliance Office, and I'm probably forgetting several others. So it's certainly not me, it's all these wonderful people, Office of Economic Development, that are out there making all of this work.
Right. Well, and the opportunity for a tremendous amount of impact and specific, this week we're talking a lot about entrepreneurs and how entrepreneurs can thrive in Boise. And so what does that look like for an early stage company, an early stage entrepreneur to engage the university? And I'll add just a little bit of context from my own perspective, having been on campus for 2 years of, I think we all see, you go to any college campus, you see a lot of big companies that are philanthropic partners to the university, and that's so important to any university's growth.
Sure.
But finding the next partners that can help we can help, the university can help them grow, and they can help the university grow. What does that look like if you're an early stage company to engage today?
Sure. Well, I think that one thing to keep in mind is that we're interested in partnering with people that it might be a one-person early stage opportunity, or it might be a very well-developed, sophisticated, large company that is interested in engaging with Boise State. And really, if you look at the spectrum all along, we have resources and ability and capabilities to engage. And so it may look like someone very early on interested in at an early stage helping with formulating expertise on campus. And so we can bring people together And whether that expertise is through students or postdocs or faculty or staff on campus, we can help facilitate that. We can also help facilitate complicated contracting or licensing that is required. So perhaps there's a direction that a company is interested in going, and they're just getting their feet wet, and they need some expertise with how. Complicated federal regulations, for example. We have that expertise, that contracting expertise on campus. And of course, as we get down the spectrum of development, we also have the licensing expertise. We also have expertise on campus that can help find opportunities for funding, for example, whether that is local or whether that is federal funding.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, like I mentioned, I've been on campus for 2 years, but in those 2 years, I have found so many resources that are at the university that can really be of service to the community, and I think it's really important for entrepreneurs to learn about those. And kind of flipping that on its head a little bit, we're not Silicon Valley or MIT, and have all of these companies spinning out, seemingly every day, but Boise State does have a strong research arm, and has had companies spin off or spin out, and even some that have been involved this week. Dave Estrada is pitching in the pitch competition, and there's
Inflex.
numerous others. But tell us a little bit about that, and if there's any success stories or how this happens on a university campus.
Sure. So certainly we might not be as sophisticated as other universities are along that spectrum, but I think that one of the things that we have that many other institutions don't have, or that we can bring to the table, is collaboration. So I think that most people, when they step onto the Boise State campus, they get this feeling of, I'm home. It's welcoming. We work across campus. If somebody's lost, whether that is physically or intellectually on campus, we help people find homes, and we help people find connections across campus. And I think that that's not always easy to find, especially on large campuses. It definitely happens in microcosms across all campuses. But I think that what people will find when they step onto Boise State campus is that we might not have the shiny new thing that is easy to follow, but we have the people there that are eager and willing to help and help make those connections. And so we have had some successes, as you mentioned, David Estrada and Inflex, Gnome, Mank, Memristers. There's several others. And what we've really been able to provide is a lot of what I've already talked about in terms of the contracting and the expertise, matching people across campus, whether it's a student that's graduating that's headed out to start a company, or whether it's a student that's headed out that wants to start with a company that's been around for a couple of years. We've been able to make those matches and then provide that continued expertise as those students or as those faculty go beyond just our campus. And so I think that keeping in mind that we have people that want to help and are willing to make the interdisciplinary connections. And I think that's the other point, is it's interdisciplinary. So we very much pride ourselves on being able to, or having programs, especially PhD programs, for example, that are interdisciplinary, and we're not and not siloed. And that's true for kind of all layers within the university, is that we have people that are coming across multiple disciplines together to solve problems. And then I'd also say that we have lots of resources outside our campus as well. We work really closely with the other universities in Idaho. We work closely with our collaborating institutions outside of Idaho, as well as with agencies. And so ultimately, there's always a connection we can find for somebody, and we once we can make those connections for people, then we can provide the underlying foundational support, the contracting support, the negotiation support, the IP support, the licensing support, the billing and the charging support, the post-award project management support, all of those different complicating layers.
Yeah, and having just been on the periphery of a few of those, they are complicated.
It is complicated.
Good to have it's good to have the expertise of like the folks on your staff, Jana LaRosa and others, that just they have that knowledge already, and they can make it much easier. And one thing I just wanted to kind of double click on that you mentioned, I think is so important, is access.
Yes.
Access to people, access to leadership. It's one of the things that makes Boise and Idaho different. Is the young aspiring entrepreneur can get a meeting with the vice president of research, can get a meeting with the president, can get a meeting with the mayor, the governor,
the director of the venture college,
if they stoop so low. But I do think that makes a difference for our community, and I know that the university does want to move beyond, across that river and come back down here where we are at the corner of 8th and Myrtle at Trailhead, and really have a strong presence in this community and in all of Idaho. And one aspect of that I know has been brought to us is, we have a community within an industry of companies that have said, hey, we want to make an impact here locally, and we want to drive innovation within our industry. And that is the home construction industry. And I know that we have 15 companies at least here locally, and a lot of others that are interested in this idea. And so let's talk a little bit just about what a partnership with a specific industry, what could that look like? How can we convene and bring folks together, and what would you see that looking like going forward?
Yeah, I think that's really exciting, a great opportunity, because we have students and faculty and staff on campus that are really eager to think about home building in new ways, whether that is materials or whether that is policies or whether that is place-based observations of city planning, all of that sort of thing. And so we have this really interdisciplinary expertise on campus that is used to getting together already across disciplines. And so I think we have the opportunity to work with industry, listen to needs within the industry, within the city and other governments, and think about how we could bring a diverse group of disciplinary experts across campus together, help facilitate those conversations, the needs, listen to the needs, as well as identify joint opportunities for collaboration and moving forward. I think we also could provide support in terms of identifying those opportunities for funding, kind of not just locally, but federally, because a lot of things are happening at a national scale along this topic that we could take advantage of.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's more to come on that, and there may be a convening of sorts in the first quarter of the coming year. So
let's do it.
If you all are interested, please get in touch with Nancy or myself via LinkedIn or any other way you can find us. And we are out of time, but thank you
so
much.
Nick. Great to be here.
For joining us. Coming up next, we have the Hacking for Home Building pitches, and the winner will be announced at 5:30. But first, a word from our sponsors.